Oh, you're there? Thank God. Maybe you might be able to brighten up my day. Yeah, I'm having one of those days where it's not technically going the way how I would hope I go for. One, I'm kind of stuck in traffic. Two, I'm running late to some event that I don't even remember how I'm supposed to be there. So, yeah, it's one of those days. And I'm stuck in. Did I say that I'm stuck in traffic? Yeah, it's Sunday evening and I'm stuck in traffic. Like, seriously, is there such a thing as Sunday traffic? With anyhow, while you're here, I might as well tell you another duel that happened the other day between a. Swear, I keep forgetting that I have manners, you know. The name Strategist, and welcome to the Casuals. I can tell you a story about of a duel, what happened the other day between an Unchained deck versus a magical Musketeers. Like, seriously, what's so magical about them? But anyways, both of them have unique traits. Where the Unchained tend to do a lot upon destruction from either side of the field, and while the magical musketeers can activate like spells and traps as hand traps from their hand. Like, seriously, like, what's going on? But enough chit chattering. I will leave you see the duel from my perspective. Shall we? And to my left we have the Unchained player versus to my right the magical musketeers, or what I should be calling them for the rest of this match. Muskets. Yeah, it's a pretty long name, so we won't have time to be calling them magical musketeers all the time. Okay, now who shall reign supreme? Shall it be the Unchained with a floating ability, or will it be the muskets? The Unchained player rolls a dice and rolls a 7, while the musket player rolls a 5. The Unchained player will decide to go first. Do remember, the musket have one thing to their advantage. While they control a magical musketeer monster on the field, they can activate the spells and traps from the hand. And if a card is activated under them, which is technically in the same column, they get different effects. The Unchained player starts his turn by setting one card, summoning Unchained Twins Rika, activating Rika's effect by targeting the set card, which appears to be an Unchained Chamber, activating Chamber's effect, which allows him to special summon from hand or deck an Unchained monster. But he is locked into Fiends for the rest of the turn. He special summons Unchained Terrain Sahara, activates Sahara's effect, which allows him to set an Unchained card to the field and destroy a card. He will be destroying the Rika, and yet again activating Rika's effect to float into a Unchained Soul of Disaster. He links both the Sahara and the Soul Disaster into a Unchained Soul of Rage. Don't tell me. And he passes turn. Not much of a strong board. It's the musket's turn, and he is about to start his turn by summoning the musket starfire. The Unchained is deciding if he shall respond. He does not. Does nothing for the turn. And now the musket will continue his turn by activating Dancing Needle under the starfire. Dancing Needle allow him to banish up to 3 cards from either player's graveyard. And of course, since he activated a card under Starfire, Starfire, if it resolves, will allow him to special summon a musket from the deck. But the Unchained player decides to respond to the Dancing Needle with Chamber to allow him to special summon from hand or graveyard a Unchained monster. Does it resolve? Does it resolve? Yes, it does. Let's see what he will be special summoning. Apparently, he will be special summoning the disaster from the graveyard. And yes, the dancing needle has resolved, but apparently the musket forgot the banishing part of the effects. So eager am I guess to special summon whichever monster he wants to special summon off of Starfire. And he will be special summoning Apparently, it would look like he will be special summon in the Casper, but the Unchained has just reminded the Musket that he should banish what was his target, which will be both the twins, Sahara and Rika. Special summoning, which we confirm was the Casper. Now do note that the Unchained Soul of Rage has a quick effect. It can target a special summon monster on your opponent's side of the field and link it off into a dark monster using it and itself as the link materials. And this looks problematic. The Musket player has activated Dimensional Fissure under the Casper. The Unchained player decides to respond on the activation of Fissure to target the same Casper which was special summoned and the Rage and links it off. Now, do remember that if he did not do that, and as long as this card remains face up on the field, any monsters sent or would be sent to the graveyard is banished instead. And the Muskets really don't care about their cards being banished. Interesting tech. Quite interesting. We are still waiting on the decision of the Unchained player to see what he will be special summoning off of Rage's effect. He's still thinking, and we have finally got a confirmation. It will be Nightmare Unicorn. Nightmare Unicorn effect upon special summon. It can discard a card, which it doesn't necessarily have to be to the graveyard. Target a card on your opponent's side of the field and shuffle it back into the deck. Which is a nice way to get certain cards. Now, everything else which name are monsters will be banished. He discards the Gamma, but obviously that gets banished. And what will he be targeting? Wise choice. He targets the Starfire to shuffle it back into the deck. Obviously, you do not want Magical Musketeers monsters on the field because they have an insane Link 1 monster that can turn the tide of this duel. The Musket decides by setting one card face down and pass his turn. It is the Unchained's turn. What will he do? What will he do? Will he link? Does he decide to go into battle phase? Yes, he does. He goes into battle phase, apparently just letting his opponent to know that he's entering the battle phase. And he is going to attack with 2200 points of damage with the Unicorn. He goes into main phase 2, sets one card, and passes turn. Okay. Oh, wow! And upon his end turn, the Musket has responded by activating Cosmic Cyclone to banish the same set card, which appears to be a Witch's Strike. That should be a powerful card. Musket's turn, he draws, summons Calamity, activates Cross Domination under the Calamity to target the Unicorn. His attack becomes 0 and his effects is negated, but not really, he didn't really want it to do that. That's not the big payoff. The big payoff is that anything that is activated under Calamity's column, while resolving, he will be able to special summon a Musket from the graveyard. And he special summons the Casper, links off the Calamity into a max, and now activate his max effect. And the Unchained player attempts to activate Ghost Ogre, but the Musket reminds him that Vision Limits is on the field. Ghost Ogre cannot be activated due to its effect that it needs to be sent to the graveyard. Wise move. The Musket has added to his hand which will be Desperado and Crooked Clown. This is what you call some sweet tech. The Musket must have saw this coming from a mile away. With most hand traps that need to be sent to the graveyard to activate and resolve, Dimensional Fissure seems to be a very wise choice. He goes into battle phase and attacks over the 0 attack negated Unicorn for 1000 points of damage. And now he activates Desperado under the Casper to target the disaster, which will now be banished, but it still will float, which will allow him to special summon an unchained monster from the graveyard. On resolution, Casper effect will activate, which will allow him to add from the deck to his hand an additional cross domination. But don't forget, all musket spells and traps are once per turn. The musket seems to know exactly what it is he's doing. That is strategy. Pass his turn, and during the draw phase of the Unchained, the musket player decides to activate Crooked Crown's activate a card effect on the Casper, and then triggering off the Casper to add. What will he be adding? He will be adding Last Stand, which is the counter trap card for the muskets. What can the Unchained player do? Okay, stand by main phase. The Unchained player looks like he can activate something now. And he activates the Crooked Crown's effect to allow him to special summon Mastermind Ezekiel. Very good. With Ezekiel on the field, and during the Unchained's turn, anything that any Unchained trap or spell has been activated, he gets to recycle or draw cards. I'm not too familiar with the Musket Masters, but guarantee you, his tech choices for this match seems to be on key. Question is, what can the Unchained player do to get himself out of this situation? Can he change the tide, or will the musket be able to sweep away to victory with this move? We are still waiting on the Unchained player's turn. Favors looks into the musket, and the Unchained player has decided to activate Monster Reborn, but apparently there is no targets in the musket's graveyard, and there are no targets in the Unchained player's graveyard due to dimensional fissure. So the Unchained player decides to scoop it and call it a round. Wow, that is what you call a very interesting round one. The Unchained player should have paid more attention to both players' graveyard to see if he could have activated that Monster Reborn to get anything back. But with all that being said and done, it still was a good round one. I will now go and review what we saw, which was the Witch's Strike. Witch's Strike seems to be an interesting card. It is a trap, so it can be a bit slow. But Witch's Strike, I will read the effect for you. If a spell or trap or monster has been negated, a monster summoning or effect, you can activate this card and destroy all cards your opponent controls and in their hand. That is what you call technically a board in hand wipe. The only thing I could see falling wrong with that is that it is a trap, so you have to wait until your opponent negates something from you to activate it, and it doesn't send or banish, it destroys. But then again, it should fit good for the Unchained player because Unchained love the word destruction. They float upon destruction. So I could see the reason where the Unchained was going with the Witch's Strike. But enough chit chatter. It seems that round 2 is ready to begin. Decks has been shuffled. Hand has been drawn. We did not see any side deck for now, but it is technically a friendly match. The Unchained player will go first, and he will decide to start his turn by setting one card and pass his turn. Wow! One card pass turn? Not looking too good for the Unchained player. Not at all. Musket starts his turn by summoning Starfire. Links off the Starfire into a Max. Activate Max effects, and that has been met with a Ghost Orc. This time, yes, if it resolves, it can be activated because this time there's no dimensional fissure to stop him. It doesn't stop Max's effect, but it allows for the musket player not to control any type of monsters. But he did special summon Kid Brave off of Max's effect. Goes in the battle phase and attacks for 1600 points of damage off of Kid Brave. And he passes turn with 5 cards in hand. What is this? Goat format? Pass set, summon, play, pass set, summon, play. Seriously? Damn. Sorry about that. Okay, it's the Unchained turns player. We still haven't seen any move from him. Is his hand that bad or what? He also passes turn, which is what I would call ridiculous. Okay, the musket player has decided to activate for his turn Crooked Crown on the Kid Brave, which allows him to discard a musket card and draw 2 cards from the deck. Does the Unchained player respond? Does he have anything to respond with? Okay, he is thinking still. It looks like he will respond with a second Ghost Ogre on Kid Brave. And the musket has decided to chain to the Unchained player's Ghost Ogre with the effect of Crooked Crown and special summon Ezekiel. He will normal summon, which appears to be a additional Starfire. Yes, it is. And he's going to link off the Starfire for the second time into a max, activate Max's effect, and it has been met with a Gamma. The question is, does it resolve? No, yes, it does. It resolves. Okay. The Gamma resolves, which allows him now to special summon both Gamma and Drive from either hand, deck, or graveyard to the side of the field, negates the max effects, and destroys a card. The musket player decides to set 1 card and pass his turn. Okay. It is the Unchained's turn, and he will draw for turn. Wow. This definitely does not look too good for the Unchained player. Unless he can do something to change the tides of this duel, this is not looking good. He sets another card and pass. Is your hand fully loaded with traps? Hand traps. The musket player decides to activate upon the end phase Dancing Needle, banish whichever cards that was in the Unchained player's graveyard, and then Ezekiel would allow him to draw additional card, and now he starts his turn by summoning Wild, activating the Book of Moon on the Wild to change the Ezekiel to face down, and then activate his Wild's effect, which will now allow him to recycle 3 musket cards from the graveyard and draw a card. And of course, he can always flip summon the Ezekiel. Okay. I can see where this is going. But the question is, can the Unchained player see where this is going? Does the Unchained player have an answer for this, or will it all be too over? The musket player decides to enter battle phase and attacks with a Wild, which is 17, and a Ezekiel, which is a whopping 25. The Unchained player doesn't have much life points. Musket passes turn, and it is now the Unchained player's turn. He draws. Can he make a move, or is it all over? It's now or never, Unchained. It's now or never. The Unchained player decides to activate Mind Control and targets the Wild. What will you do with a Mind Control Wild? It cannot attack. That's for sure. Okay, the Mind Control resolves. while has been switched over to the other side of the field until the end of the turn. And the musket will respond by activating Crooked Crown's effect to special summon the Starfire. Alright, Unchained player, let's see. He normal summons the Unchained Twins Rika. He is checking to see what else move can he do. With two monsters on field, two set cards against the musket player, what can you do? Unchained decides to activate Rika's effect to activate by targeting one set card and one other card to destroy it. The musket responds with cross domination under Starfire's effect to negate the Rika's effect, and the Unchained is going to respond with an escape to target the Rika and target the set card from the musket player, and it resolves backwards. Okay, look like they're just confirming how the effect works. Okay, Rika has been destroyed, the set card has been destroyed, and now we have another separate chain that is going to activate. Rika will activate by special summon a Unchained monster from either deck or hand. And now Starfire also will trigger by activating its effect to special summon a musket monster. And now due to the fact that Starfire is the last card to activate, the Unchained will respond with a Solemn Strike, which will be met with a last stand. Sorry for the delay, people, but that was a lot of explaining to do. Wow! Talk about some interactions and chains. Starfire will resolve by special summoning the Casper, and then the Rika will resolve by special summoning an Unchained monster from the deck. What will he be special summoning? He special summons Sahara. Okay. What play is he looking for with this? Because he will be locked into Fiend monsters for the rest of this turn. He's activating Sahara's effect to target the same escape, and he is trying to remember what all effects activated. Yes, he is confirmed. He will be setting the escape and destroying the same escape that was set to activate its effect to special summon. Quick note, both Unchained spells and traps, both of them have an additional effect if this set card is destroyed, that they can special summon a Unchained monster from either hand or deck. He special summons Abominable Soul, which will now activate its effect upon summon by discarding one card and destroying one card on your opponent's side of the field without targeting. Confirming what all effects activates, what all effects from the musket player's field. Will he carefully decide which card will he destroy? Can he make a comeback, or will it all be too over for this Unchained play? Let's see. Because I would definitely assume this should be his last move. He decides to destroy Ezekiel. He goes into battle phase, and he will be blasting the Casper. Main phase 2, he links off with the Wild and of course Abominable to special summon the Rage. Okay, there seems to be just a little clarification with the zone placements, but it still ends up being the same thing. With a Rage and a Sahara on the field, he decides to end turn. Why? Standby main phase. Why would you not link? Okay, anyways. Okay, he decides to link off the Starfire into a max, and upon max summoning, activating Max's effects, and now he's going to activate Rage's effect to target the Max and link both the Rage and the Max into a, would it be another unicorn? But he has no cards in hand to discard. What will it be? And he special summons Anguish, while the Musket player has added, what did he add? Which appears to be across domination. Oh, wow. Across domination and a fiendish deal. I'm not that familiar. Oh, ooh, special summoning from the effect of Crooked Crown. Starfire activating Fiendish Deal under Starfire, which will allow him to special summon a level 4 wild. Well, not level 4, he cannot special summon any musket monster from the deck, and he special summons a wild. Oh, this is not looking good. This can be an easy OTK if the musket player plays Utopia. And the Unchained has decided to call it a round. This is what you call a very quite interesting match from both players. Of course you're back. Obviously, I was telling you a story while being stuck in traffic. Uh, Before I continue with the story, let me just let you to know that I'm back home. I'm actually enjoying a nice cup of tea. Yeah, I decided like it was too long to be continuing to be stuck in traffic, so I just am and drive myself back home. But fun fact though, that duel, it, who am I kidding? The duel was one-sided. The magical musketeers technically just wiped the floors with the Unchained, like ridiculous. I guess the strategy with activating spells and traps as hand traps from your hand without having to set them on the field, it's a little more stronger than the floating effects of the Unchained. Wow. I don't take that to notice. But anyhow, thanks for thanks for keeping the company today. It means a lot. I hope you will like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know if you really like it, these type of live duel stories. And with that, I will just have to say, I'll catch you another time. And hopefully this time it won't be during traffic.